Hey everybody, Shane Theriot here. Thanks for joining me today. Some of you may or may not know that I had a podcast for many years. I started almost 10 years ago called the Riff Raff, and I still get a lot of emails about that. I haven't put a lot of effort into it lately because it just takes a lot of work, and I've been, busy touring and recording and things. You just get sidetracked. But there's 50 episodes out. Everybody from John Scofield, Mike Stern, Wayne Krantz, Dweezil Zappa, not just guitar players. I had Sammy Hagar, Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad, a lot of great guys. Some of them aren't even here with us anymore. And I was able to capture that. Anyway, I thought, since I've been trying to get this YouTube channel going, this takes a lot of energy. I thought, why not try to combine the two and see what happens? So this is an interview with a friend of mine named Tomo Fujita. Tomo is a fantastic guitar player. And he's got ridiculous rhythm guitar playing. And I think that's why we clicked. And we got together in Boston. We met in Boston a month or so ago. I was on tour and I had a day off and hung out in Chinatown. Tomo was so kind to show me around. And we just decided, hey, why don't we do this, And ideally, I like to sit one-on-one, but it wasn't possible because it was so noisy backstage. So we did this FaceTime, and I think Tomo has some great points about rhythm guitar and learning. This is part one. I'm going to post part two coming up the next week or two, and then we're going to do a collaborative jam. It's going to be fun. And so, check out Tomo. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. I mean, John Mayer was one of his famous students. So I think you'll dig this. Hit like, subscribe if you like this video, and hope you enjoy. Tomo Sensei, I just met you a couple weeks ago, and you were so nice to drive me around Boston and give me a tour. And I know you're at Berklee, and you're 毎日忙しい。
忙しいよ。
たくさん学生いるでしょう。そう、本当にどうもありがとう、今日は。
大丈夫です。
You get a lot of students, so thanks for joining me.
Of course. Yeah, but that was fun because first, I've been living in Boston many years, but a lot of Bostonians actually didn't know around. Because many things famous, museum to whatever, but then as you see, Boston is a lot one way. Even just go to the airport is crazy, So
it's like the cops say over there. It's wicked easy. I'm going to give you directions, and it's never
wicked easy, but not easy. No. And the people talk so fast. Northeast,
But I love your playing, and we follow each other on Instagram, and you always post such great, inspiring things, and we both love great rhythm guitar style. So I thought it'd be fun to talk.
Of course. You know why I really got into more rhythm guitar than soloing?
Why is that?
Because I went to Berklee, and I saw many players much better than me. And then everybody, I went to Berklee like late 80s. Like this is about almost end of 86, 87. So when Scott Henderson was really peak, releasing album. And I was really into Scott Henderson, John Scofield, Pat Metheny, Mike Stern. Just like everybody, I transcribing stuff. And funny, once I transcribe something, somebody also doing more things. And that's where I felt like first year, I was trying to do something. Oh, okay, this is not good because so many players doing something. And I was always into rhythm guitar, because I really felt I don't really have a really good time feel from Japan, So stereotype myself, I'm a Japanese guy, so I can't really have a groove, So I had to practice the metronome, I had to listen to these records. So I ended up, I decided, okay, I'm going to focus on more rhythm. I did.
Yeah.
And you have something similar to what I do because your rhythm skills so keen on the detail, muting. I love how you mute, both hands. And sometimes, you play really clean. And sometimes on purposely, I can see very loose. I'm sure that you got from New Orleans, that
New
something
Orleans
a little laid back, you know what I mean?
Well,
almost like an imperfection that you are making perfect. You know what I mean? So it's almost like looseness. You have to really learn, figure it out. Sometimes people has that looseness naturally, but you are professional. You have to get that looseness every time, right?
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that, like you said, that New Orleans rhythm style, that is a more laid back, and like you said, it's a little looser, a little bit sloppier, but you can't really try to do that. It's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
You know? But the way you play is, I love that stuff too. That Al McKay, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes.
You know, Ray Parker, that kind of thing. They're real tight. I love that stuff.
Yeah, just because I listened so much Earth, Wind, and Fire when I was 16, 18, around there. And Chic, Nile Rodgers, always. And I have no idea the part. I didn't know the parts. But I know the tightness of the band. That's why I think I developed really, really tight muting skill, because I'm listening band. And then later I noticed, okay, I was actually doing wrong because I'm just playing too tight. I have to have a little looseness for other musicians. You know, tightness stuff is good for students to understand how to use, left hand mute and right hand skill. Yeah. So, Ray Parker Jr. is amazing. He does a lot.
And in Japan, sorry to interrupt, but Ray Parker Jr., David T. Walker, Cornell Dupree, those are the people I see still when I go to Japan. You know, where's Tower Records? They still have Shibuya.
Shibuya, maybe. Yeah,
they have like whole stations of those guys. They're still so.
Exactly.
My point is do you think Japanese people? First of all, you said that you don't have rhythm originally because you're Japanese. I don't agree with that at all. But there's some really funky musicians in Japan.
Of course, yes.
But do you? There's something about that style and that funkiness and that kind of rhythm, and Japanese musicians love it and they gravitate towards it in a special way, you know?
Yeah.
Would you say that's true?
That's true. And then several months ago, Guitar Magazine in Japan, they were focusing blues music in Japan. And there's a band, especially Kansai, which is, Osaka, Kyoto. They had a band called Breakdown. 2 guitars, and bass and drummer. Another one called West Road Blues Band. Those were really, really, strong when, early 70s. I think one of band opened B.B. King. Yeah, but they are so into blues.
Yeah.
And I listened to those guys when I was kids. So like, Breakdown, they start with slow blues every time when I see them. And then I have no idea about why their sound is so thick, big, because a lot of feeling,
Yeah.
No effect, just the guitar and the bass. And I think I brought up in Kyoto, Japan. So Kyoto has a lot of blues influence. I don't know why. On R&B. That's why Cornell Dupree, Eric Gale, stuff, the band, and those guys were really well known. Yeah, it's really cool.
You ever notice Cornell Dupree? And I don't mean this I don't mean it as an insult, but a lot of times he sounds a little out of tune, but it's got so much feel to it. It adds to the character, like when he'll do these little, like it's always a little sharp, but it's got that feel, it's just so good. I mean, Ry Cooder does that sometimes too.
Yeah, I think those guys, tune up a guitar once before they on the stage, right?
I think
and then a little bit out of tune, they just push a little bit. See, nowadays, everybody has a clip tuner, and then perfectly in tune, which is a little bit too much sometimes, so that's why Cornell like that exactly. Also, I did. He does a lot of jazzy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, those little fill, yeah.
Right. Out of tune, but you know, like so like. It's just adding to the feel.
It's adding to the sauce, the seasoning. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, like you said, little loose.
Right, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I love about his playing because I never heard he's using any effect.
I think he might have used a phaser later on in his life.
Yeah, a little bit, right.
Maybe somebody in Japan gave him a whole pedal board, Ibanez, and he just would step on some of them, you know.
Yeah, but way he does it.
Yeah.
So he does a little BB King, Alva King, yeah. You know, he does a little thing like that. Yeah. The funny part is, you know, I've been teaching at the Berklee, and a lot of young people come, right? And so, okay, do you know Cornell Dupree or David T. Walker? No idea.
Well, seems to be in Japan, man. They're way more popular than here. I think overall, I think
it's really funny, yeah.
Yeah, like Eric Gale.
Because younger musicians hire these guys, and then these, you know, pop musicians, you know, they play at Tokyo Dome or something big and bring these guys, you know, and make a live recording or something like that. It's crazy. Yeah, but I love the rhythm.
Yeah. The first time I ever went to Japan, actually, it's behind me. That poster is Neville Brothers. Yes. I think it was Sun Plaza. I don't remember. There was a little tour.
Okay.
But I just found that poster and put it up last week.
Really
and the first time I ever went there I was just blown away by.
So what year did you go to Japan?
That was 96, 97, 96, wow. I think. Yeah, late 96. And
interesting. That's when I started going back to Japan, like 95 or 6, because I came to Berklee November 1986, Japan. Maybe 95 I went back once. Yeah.
And then when you left, what year was it when you left?
80, yeah, November 86.
So you left in 86. And Paul Gilbert was on the cover of Young Guitar magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go back in like 98, and Paul Gilbert's on the cover of Young Guitar magazine. True. Every time I go over there, it's like the same.
True. You know, Steve Vai,
Marty Friedman,
those guys are always popular. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and plus Japan, some people loves, you know, blues and funk, but then some people really into that, you know, whammy bar, distortion, screaming thing. You know? Yeah, that's very cool.
Well, I'm sure we could talk about so many things, but the rhythm guitar stuff, maybe we should talk a little bit more about that. And then I want to hear about your solo records. I know you have a few solo records and your teaching. So, so what do you think? Like you see a lot of students come into Berklee, and plus you teach students all over the world. Is rhythm guitar one of the more important things, or you think people still are more into soloing, like the kids?
Well, kids really into right to the soloing, honestly. Mm-hmm. They don't really understand how important the fun to play rhythm guitar. Mm-hmm. Just because anybody, using backing track or YouTube or download something, these days. So what happened is, it's almost normal. People just wake up, turn the computer, look for backing track. Oh, I like this one, and then plug into computer, and they all plug in. All the effect is there. You just click, click, click. You got the sound, and then right away you press, and you hear the backing track, and then if it's like a Thrill's Gone, it says B minor. Okay. Like that, he's just going on and on. Mm-hmm. And then add more reverb, add more distortion. They don't really hear any rhythm because the duration is always, never stopped. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that's like typical people's like experience, unless somebody point out, okay, you should do this, you should do, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then so it's really funny part is like sometimes, okay, first lesson, I want to hear you play E blues. Is that okay? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play rhythm guitar just like this. And I want you to play solo. Like that. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I watch. Most people start playing like this, looking at the fretboard. Like that, everywhere. And I listen to I'm not really put people down, but just this typical guitar player syndrome. 12 frets, open strings, nothing happen in the middle, and then not following the chords. So this is really interesting. Okay, my turn. I play solo. Sometimes people say, what key are we in?
Really?
I told you E. Oh, yeah. Like that. Not really aware what chords is moving. One goes to 4 or 5 or 12. And then, okay, you understand. Okay, this is E again. And then this is most... first I thought this is like, problem or young kids. But ended up almost like universal problem. This is what young kids. 1, 2, 3, 4. Difficult to do. Our kids play. So what's happening? 1, 1, 4, 4.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the form is changed.
So that people don't catch it like 1, 4, 1, 1 or 1, 1, 1, 1 and they go to 4. They don't have that concept. Just because they don't even know the bass line. So like, okay, how about this one? Apparently, you can hear tuba phrase.
Right.
Or chromaticism.
Right.
You know those language because you heard that. But a lot of kids only listen backing track or somebody screaming solo, right? So they don't have like they just don't have a clue like about the song form, because song form is already ready to play. That's the problem.
I see.
Not like when we're kids, we're figuring out together.
Yeah, hey, getting in a room and playing with guys.
You're wrong, I'm right, that kind of deal. No, you're wrong. Oh, okay. They don't have that kind of discussion or hit the wall. Because answer, you Google. How to play blues. Google minor pentatonic or minor pentatonic mixing with a major pentatonic. Occasionally Mixolydian scale and adding chromaticism like that. What's that mean? That's a word. That's not music. So sometimes I have to teach kids, like students, how to learn, how to listen. But we can't really make them feel bad. So I have to make them try. I have to hear. So I just try and I explain that they understand,
Yeah, and even a simple, even something simple like that, there's still a lot going on. There's the coordination between two hands. There's the muting. There's a dynamics, and then there's the harmonic. The 1, 4, 1, 4. And I remember learning how to play that, and and it still feels good to play that, you know.
Exactly.
But there was that in itself is rhythm guitar, like you're
Yes.
saying. That's almost it's almost a drum pattern too. It's everything.
Yeah.
And there's variation.
So that's
All that
why
kind
I
of
like
stuff.
You're playing, because you really do, you use that bass line and drum kind of accent, like for example, like you do often, like that. Like that, you do.
Oh, yeah,
naturally,
yeah.
Like you use
Yeah.
that. A lot of kids don't have that idea, like. Like that kind of thing, they just don't know. They don't know nothing about that.
Mhm.
Just because I told you, like YouTube, if you Google, there's backing track. So
Right.
almost like they don't need to practice that.
Well, one thing I will say about rhythm guitar, like I've been a working professional guitar player for a long time now, and rhythm guitar, I mean, everybody knows this now, but I'll say it, that's probably easily 80% of what you do unless you're gonna, unless you're Pat Metheny or
Right.
somebody
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
if you're a working player, like
Yeah.
i.e., doing recording sessions, working with singers, playing standard songs, regardless of style.
Right.
The rhythm guitar, I mean, you're not going to really get hired unless, Dream Theater is looking for a guitar player and that kind
Yeah.
of style.
Yeah.
is
Or
different.
John
And even
Mayer.
that has
Yeah.
has a lot of heavy
Yeah,
rhythm
exactly.
stuff. you know.
Still, they have to know. The
Yeah.
parts.
So it's a very important thing.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting because
Yeah.
I notice you can make people feel a certain way playing rhythm guitar that people that aren't musicians or guitar players, they gravitate. It's kind of the closest thing we have to. I've always been jealous that a piano player can sit down and it sounds like an orchestra.
Right.
But that's the closest thing we have is like rhythm guitar.
But
Soloing,
still, like you can do chord melody or
Yeah,
what-
yeah. Yeah. So what's one quick tip that you give people learning rhythm guitar? Like one I used to teach was syncopated, like a six. It's pretty
Yeah.
theoretical, but it is an extra. You take a 16th and then you kind of write like an X here, there, one, and then you start accenting certain.
Yeah.
Is there something similar that you teach your students, or?
Yeah, well, like I usually test it like this sometimes. Like even like this. Some people cannot do it because they don't have alternate picking or this feel, so they go like this.
Yeah.
Like that, right? Yeah. So that's usually it's not about guitar. So I have teach them like.
Yeah. To get the internal clock going.
Yeah. Then ended up I have to teach like. So sometimes so I make them all sing actually.
And that's a strumming pattern which you're singing, right?
Yeah, because this way, without the guitar, first we can check time issue or hand issue, like you know what I mean? Technique. So usually, it's not about this issue. It's about internal rhythm that they don't have. They don't have that yet. And after that, sometimes even power chord. So then technique, like just press something, and everything else mute. sometimes even very technical. Then show how not to press too much. One of the drum accent. So basically, accent, mute, and all that stuff. Figure it out, and then just pick something that students need to work. So I don't have anything too much like, okay, I have to teach today A, B, C to everybody. You know what I mean? I have a bag of ideas, but then each person has different personality and different pace. So I have to really pick right.
It depends on the student.
Yeah, but at least a great part is since I taught John Mayer, I've known John Mayer teacher, Eric Clapton teacher, so a lot of people understand what I'm doing already because I have a Instagram and YouTube people watch, so they understand. It's a great part of they understand it. Another was not heavy metal guys who really want to study with me.
Right.
Somebody want to improve their rhythm skill, blues, guitar, and maybe jazz a little bit like that. And then that's how people take my lesson. Yeah.
Well, what about, when did you do your first solo record? What was that, in the 90s?
Yeah, well, solo records, first I made a demo, cassette tape. That was like a 92, and then real album is Put On Your Funk Face, and that's the one released on 1996.
And was that for a Japanese label, or did you do it just yourself?
I did everything myself.
Okay.
Yeah. That, always I had this is about business thing. Always I felt like, okay, if I release from somebody and seems okay in a few years, and if somebody buy that label, then all of a sudden your stuff you can't really control.
Yeah.
I heard about that a little bit, about, little bit jazz and fusion. So when I released the Put In Funk Face, I just did everything by myself. And no covers, all original. Yeah, at least my brother-in-law is a lawyer, so copyrights and all that stuff. So make sure I have an ASCAP and everything. Name. So every time when I release records, I have a system to do that first. Yeah. And then 2001, around there, I believe, and I released right place, right time. And same way. I just released it myself. And then 2010, this is the one pure. Steve Gadd, Bernard Purdie, and Will Lee.
Nobody good available? You had to call those guys?
I had to call those guys because I love to get. Yeah, so Steve. So that was my dream album because I was getting really good friends with Will Lee, so he called off and off. Then we did a tour in Japan, did some session in New York. So one occasion, I was talking to Will, saying, I have one dream. He said, what is that? Well, someday I want to record with you and Steve Gadd, those guys, my drummers I love. But then I told him right away, but probably not able to do, because Steve Gadd playing Eric Clapton, you know what I mean? And then me, I'm just nobody. So, and then this is Will's answer: you never know. Never heard. Just ask. Worst thing, they say no.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, worst thing, you never know.
That's true. Said, what do you have to learn?
So I asked him, Will, can you ask Steve, what if he's interesting to play with me, few songs? And Steve interested in it. And then what happened was, that was a 2007 or 8, around the March, I believe. And then Will gave me Steve Gadd's phone number because Steve Gadd, he doesn't use cell phone. I'm sorry, cell phone, like texting. You just, talk, talk guy, no computer. So I had to call him, shaking, calling him. And then he accepted my offer. And he said, I'm doing rehearsal with Paul Simon. That's the around day. So I'm staying in New York, so I don't have to pay for the hotel and all that stuff. Because I have a budget. It's kind of low, myself. So, and then that's what we did. One night, 3 songs.
That's great, man. Yeah.
Right. And then what happened is, oh my God, I had a opportunity to play with Steve Gadd, Will Lee, 3 songs. What can I do after that, right? So I had to kind of think, okay, next dream, burn out a party, because Cornell Dupree, teasing. I have to do that. I have to do slow blues. So I already have slow blues, swing shuffle, funk. I had to have that. So that's why I hired Burn Out the Party. And that's same year, around like November, winter time. And funny part is, studio, I was there setting up a drum set, with a friend. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Steve Gadd. Steve Gadd, he told me he can't bring a set. So we provide, Yamaha set. At the party, he lives in New Jersey. Or, so I assume he's going to bring a drum set, right? I never asked him. So he showed up. We have problem, miscommunication, problem. He's not good mood. What's that? There's no drum set. What do you mean? What do you mean? I said. He said, always when I show up, drum set is ready to play. So I'm like,
well, doesn't he have a cartage guy he would have called, or you're supposed to just know that?
No, but he thought I just prepare everything.
But how does he even know that you know what kind of drums he wants?
Exactly. So anyway, but great part of the studio was owned by drummer. So I asked him, can you set something he likes, So we start, put the drum set together. And he wasn't really good mood because, probably takes time, right? A little bit. Then he say went out to get the soup and something like that. And we hang out. Yeah. And this is happened. First one, I think we play slow blues. No. Well, anyway, so we're playing music, and then we're playing blues. I made him so happy playing blues. So he just starts singing. I was like, oh.
All right, that was part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 coming up soon. Hit like, subscribe, notifications, all that stuff if you dug this. Till next time, Shane Theriot out.